welcome to a new tutorial. This one is very special because it's dedicated to our best friends because we're celebrating the National Puppy Day. So we're going to draw some little dogs. We're going to draw 5 little dogs. We're going to draw a Corgi, a Poodle, a Siberian Husky, a Saint Bernard, and a Bulldog. And I'm going to show you how to illustrate these dogs using just very simple shapes. Now, I have some reference to create the puppies. Here we have a beautiful corgi. And of course, we're going to draw a very simplistic image of this dog, like this one. And here we have a little bulldog. Look how cute it is. A poodle, a Siberian Husky, and a Saint Bernard. So we're going to look at this reference to create these icons, these little dog illustrations, using as few possible shapes, because the idea is that we illustrate these dogs using very simple and basic shapes. So to make this even simpler, we're going to use the same body for all the dogs, and we're just going to change some things on the dog's face, but we're going to use the same body and the same face, the same eyes, the same mouth, the same tongue, and the nose. So we're just going to change the colors to make them look like a different race. So let's begin by creating the body. And for this, I'm going to take a rounded rectangle tool. And if you have a rounded rectangle tool and you click on the canvas, if you press the up and down arrows on your keyboard, you can change the radius of the corner. You can see I'm pressing down, and if you press a long time, it turns into a normal rectangle. But if you press up, you can see that the radius of the corner is getting higher, so it's turning into a completely round rectangle. So for the body, I want to create first the back legs of the little puppy. So I'm going to create a rectangle like this with this shape. I'm going to tell you exactly the amount of radius that you're going to choose. This is good. All right, 36 or 35 corner radius is enough. Perfect. Now we're going to use an aligned stroke to outside, and I'm going to use 5 points of stroke. In fact, I'm going to use 10 points. Let's make this bigger. So here we have this. This will be the back legs. I know it doesn't look like them right now because I'm going to use very simple shapes to create the dog. So we have this, and now let's create another rounded rectangle right in the middle of the back legs, just around here, this point, just like this. Probably a little shorter. If you want to change the rounded rectangle, just click on direct selection and select the point and make this smaller. You can fix this later anyway. All right, now I want to create the front legs of the dog. To do this, I'm going to use the pen tool instead. And here's what I'm going to do. And pay attention because this technique is really useful if you are illustrating anything. I'm going to take the pen tool and I'm going to draw a line just like this. I'm going to click here and another click here, and I'm going to make it a little curvy, just like this. All right, now take this path and let's increase the width of the stroke by a lot and change the cap to a round cap. Now I'm going to change this. I think 65 is good. This will be the dog's legs. Alright, now I want one of these points, the lower point, to be wider than this part. So the easiest way to do this is just taking the width tool, this one, and take this point, just click on this and drag your mouse to the right or to the left if you want to make it narrow. In this case we want to make it thicker, so I'm going to drag it to the right, and I want to make this a little bit bigger than the first point. Alright, now all you have to do is to go to Object, Path, Outline Stroke, and now this is a shape. You can delete this, and now this is a simple shape just like this one. So I want to take the leg here, maybe make this thinner just a little bit. Alright, one here, and I'm going to draw an ellipse now for the little paw of the puppy, like this. So here we have the first leg. Now just group this and create a copy, and now this copy, right click on this, transform, reflect, vertical reflection, click OK. So we have both legs. Alright, now I'm going to take the back legs. I'm going to select with direct selection these points, and I'm going to take these points a little bit to the left and these left points a little bit to the right to create some sort of angle like this. Alright, now we're almost done with the body. Now let's take the ellipse tool and let's create the little puppy necklace. So I'm going to draw this, and now let's create the head of the dog. We're going to use the same head for all the dogs, and this is really simple. Just create an ellipse tool, maybe this size, something like this. Perfect. Now you can see that we have the necklace. Let's make this all a little bit smaller. And now with this ellipse tool, let's go to the direct selection tool and let's click on this point, the top point. You can see that we see the handles here. All we have to do is to drag this dot a little bit down like this, maybe a little less. So now we have this shape, which is made with an ellipse, but it doesn't look like an ellipse. It's like a very curvy shape, and this will work for all the dogs that we are going to create. Now let's take the back legs and let's invert the position, because I think they will look better this way. Alright, so we have the dog shape. You can see that this will be the base for all the dogs that we are going to create. So let's save this just in case, and let's duplicate this to create our first dog, which is the corgi. Now let's create the face of the dog, and for the face we're going to use the same shape of the head. Let's copy this, paste it in front with Ctrl C and Ctrl F, and let's turn this around. Of course, instead of a stroke, let's set the black tone to fill. And we're going to have this shape that will be the eyes. Now, these eyes need some sparkle. So I'm going to take the ellipse tool, create an ellipse here, and make this white to create the brightness on the eye. Group this and create a duplicate here, of course, and we have the eyes of the puppy. Now for the nose, I'm going to take one of these eyes and duplicate it here. I'm going to change this to the top, and I'm going to make this a little bit wider, like this, and I'm going to take the brightness up to this point, and we have the nose. You can see we're using the same shape for the eyes and the nose, so you can see how simple this is. Now let's create the mouth of the dog and the little tongue, and for this I'm going to use an ellipse tool, create an ellipse like this, and let's delete the top part of this ellipse. Now this will be an open circle. Now change this to round cap, and you will have this. Now place this here, and now let's take this and let's take our pen tool and create a point right here, like in the middle of these 2 points. And now you can delete the top one, and you will have this shape. Let's turn the stroke to 8 instead of 10. And now create a duplicate of this. Now this duplicate, let's reflect this vertically. And you will have this shape. Now let's take these 2 lines. Let's bring them here, and let's make them a little larger by dragging this. All right. Now make it a little bit wider too. And now it's time to create the tongue. For this we're going to use a rounded rectangle. Make it as rounded as possible. And make these lines on top of this new rectangle. And now all we have to do is to decrease the stroke like to 7. Add some fill that for now can be white, and hide the tongue here. Place the nose on top. You can make this tongue a little bit smaller. All right, and let's add one line here for the tongue. Make sure it's on round cap, and let's bring this to 4. And now we have the face of the dog. Now we're going to use this for all the dogs that we're going to create. Maybe let's make this nose bigger. All right, now we're done. Let's save this just in case, and let's begin with the first dog. Oh, and one final thing. We need to create the tail of the dog, of course. And this can be done by applying the same principle as we did with the legs of the dog. Create with the pen tool, make this bigger, round cap. Can be as big as 45 points. And now go to path, outline stroke, and apply this same effect and bring this to the back. And we have the tail. Alright, so but when we have this, the rest is very simple because all we have to do is to add some stuff for each race. For example, the Corgi has some pointy ears, the Bulldog has some drop down ears, so we need to create that. But having this is pretty much half of the job done. So let's begin with the Corgi. You can see that the Corgi is orange. It's like a very like brown tone. We can use an orange for this, and we have some very pointy ears. So I'm going to start by creating the ears, or let's begin with the colors. Let's begin by adding some colors into this so that we can see it with more shape. So for this Corgi, I'm going to leave this in white, but the legs and the face will be, let's see, we can use like an orange tone, but with a little more red into it, like this. Alright, this is perfect. Now let's save this tone here. Alright, and I'm going to use the same here for the mouth of the dog. Alright, now the tongue can be like a pink tone, very pale pink, like this. Alright, and we can use the same orange tone for the legs and for the back legs too. But for the back legs, we're going to add a little more black into the tone so that they are darker because they are on the back. And we're going to use the same tone for the tail. Now, the paws, you can see that they are white too. And we have like this shape on the mouth. It's white and with a little bit of a shape here. So we can create that very easily. Let's first color the color. You can use a blue tone. Alright. This can be, instead of white, let's add a little bit of yellow, like 7% of yellow here. Alright, much better now. So I'm going to take the face shape, the head shape, sorry, and I'm going to copy this and paste in front. And now I'm going to turn this around, make it smaller, and instead of having this color, I'm going to delete the stroke and make this white. And I'm going to make this smaller. Alright, now we have to change this to white. And we're going to create an ellipse, a white ellipse, and make a shape like this. Now bring the nose to the top and we have the shape. Alright, we're almost done. Now we need to add, but instead of white we can use this same creamy tone. Perfect. All right, now for the ears, you can see that they are really pointy, so we're going to do this. I'm going to take the polygon tool and I'm going to create a triangle with the polygon tool. Create this triangle. Use the same tone with this and go to Effect, Stylize, and go to Round Corners. Let's set the preview and let's bring this, maybe, let's see how it looks with 50 pixels. I think we can add a little more, like 90 pixels, maybe 75 pixels. All right, click OK now. Or let's go to Window Appearance. Let's set a different, let's set it to 55 pixels. All right. Now, you can see that we now have a rounded triangle. So we're going to use this for the ears. Go to Expand Appearance. And let's make this a little bit taller. And also, let's delete the inner line. Let's create a copy here in front. Make it a little bit smaller. And for this we will use the same tone as for the paws. Like this. Alright. Now take all of this and let's create some ears with this. You can see that the ears are one point with some angles. Let's bring this to the back. You can make it pointier if you want. And another one on the other side. And that's it. We have a corgi puppy using very few shapes. You can see that we just use it like rounded rectangle and ellipse. And now we're ready for the second dog. Take this corgi, create a duplicate here, and you can see how the podal is. It's really fluffy. We have a lot of hair. They have like a little ball of hair on top, and I'm going to create an exaggeration of this dog here. So basically all you have to do here is to change the color of the skin of the dog and add some puff of hair with circles. Just take your ellipse tool and create like a bunch of hair on the top of the head, a little bit on the tail, and of course on the ears. Alright, now we have the puddle. You can see how easy it is. Now it's time for the Siberian Husky. We're going to take this same shape of the corgi, bring it here. So let's take a look at the Husky. You can see they are really cute and they have a particular face. We can use the same ears as with the corgi, and we have some to add some hairs here on the head. So let's start. Let's delete this, and let's use, instead of this tone, of course, I'm going to use a gray tone. And I'm going to use a darker gray here. For the back legs. And I'm going to use the same ears. So the shape of the head will be different. So I'm going to take the head and invert the position like this. And now I want to add, let's take the ears off a little bit. Now I want to add some hairs here on the head. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the pen tool and draw some shapes like this. You can see they are like triangles. Create one here and one below. And now take all of this and unite them with the pathfinder. It's looking very, very good. Now go back a little bit. Take this a little bit to the left and let's copy this and reflect. And take them here. Now take everything and click on unite and you will have this shape. In fact, let's take this a little higher. Now take everything, click on unite, and now this is good. Now select the face, the eyes, the nose, and everything else. Go to the top, of course. All right. You can take the ears again. And now take the same shape of the head, Ctrl C and Ctrl F. Make this smaller and change the color to white and with no stroke. Now fix this until you have a shape like this. And now let's fix some things. For example, this point. Let's make this a little bit more narrow. And let's change some shape like this. All right, we're almost done. And we can add some more shapes in here if you want. All right. Now create an ellipse right here in the center of the face. Make this the same gray tone. A little bit wider and create a duplicate of this. Make this smaller and make it white. So we create some lines like this. You can see that they have some shapes in the face. They are a little bit irregular. So we can use this like this. All right. Now for the eyes, I'm going to change the color of the eyes to blue. This will be white, and for the color we can use a yellow tone. I think we should make the eyes closer in this case. And let's take the ears a little bit down and turn everything here to white. Alright, this is perfect. Now it's time to create the Saint Bernard, which is this one right here. Of course, we're going to use an interpretation of this little body face. So I'm going to use this as the base. And remove the ears and change the color to a darker brown. Now, what will make it different is the shape of the ears. You can see that the ears are going down in this case. So what I'll do is this. I'm going to delete this, make this the same tone as the rest of the body. Take the shape like this and create a duplicate. And create this shape. Two of them united here. Unite them with the Pathfinder and create the ears with this. Now make it darker and take the ears to the top. You can make it even darker, the ears, like this. And create a duplicate here, of course. And that's it. We could fix this shape a little bit, make it a little bit wider. Just like this. Alright. Another thing that we can do is to make the nose a little bigger. Like this. Alright, that's it. Now it's time to create the Bulldog. Look at this fella here. We can use almost all the things that we created, but in this case the mouth should be different because they look like they are sad. They are not sad, of course, but they look like they are sad because of the shape of the mouth. So this is pretty characteristic. So we must use this on our illustrations. So let's take this shape and just make some changes. Change the ears, change the color, and make the mouth a little bigger, and change the shape of the mouth until you have a nice bulldog. And that's it. We have all of our dogs. Just place them on your canvas and align them properly, and you will have a very nice layout. So I hope that you had fun on this tutorial. Thank you for joining me, and see you on another tutorial.